Rickie Fowler's in the lead. These guys were busting my stones beforehand because I'm a big Fowler guy. He came in second in every major 2 years ago.
He's always in the lead after day one.
No. He's usually right there, but he's in the lead right now, 5 under, and he just had a lousy shot on 17 there.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. Pebble Beach is where they are. Gil Capps from the Golf Channel. Which Tiger will show up at the U.S. Open? Who's the big name out there right now? Rickie Fowler, Oosthuizen, Hatton. Let's bring Gil into the conversation and see what he thinks. Is Pebble Beach, is the golf world is all there now. Gil, welcome back. How are you, pal?
Hey, Mike, Jeff, good. I hope you guys are as well. I'm having a hard time concentrating on golf. You guys are talking about basketball. We got at hockey, and
it's that time of the year,
night. Which is this is Warriors country. So, and then you're at Pebble Beach, which if you've never been to Pebble Beach, it's a place. Even if you're not a golfer, you just got to come and experience because it's different than almost any other place in the United States. It has this little microclimate, and every time I'm out here, I feel like I'm ready to go to a good college football game because it's a little cool, a little bit of breeze. It's overcast a lot, and as you're probably seeing from the from the pictures today from out here, it looks like you should be walking into Notre Dame Stadium or Michigan Stadium or somewhere, up in the North Ray to see two great college teams go at it. But nevertheless, it is golf time, and it is at a place here at Pebble Beach, which it's been referred to as the St. Andrews of the United States, and I think that comparison is mainly because of that's how special a place it is. It's a little more expensive to play than St. Andrews over in Scotland, the home of golf. $550 will get you right onto these this magnificent golf links. But it's a really special place, and think there's a U.S. Open, right? If you're a player and you win a U.S. Open, obviously it's fantastic. But winning a U.S. Open at Pebble Beach is kind of the next level where you get an extra star by your name. And that's what makes this week so big. That's what made it so big when Jack Nicklaus was able to win a U.S. Open here, obviously when Tiger Woods won a U.S. Open here, and that ratchets up the importance of the national championship even more when it's at this venue.
All right, we got Rickie Fowler at the top at Pebble Beach here, and he's a guy that, 2 years ago he had an amazing run. He was always right there, and he hasn't been able to get back to that level or to the top of the heap. He's got a very interesting look this week, but is this the time for Rickie Fowler?
If I had a dime for every time you've asked me that question,
yes,
Mike,
I'm ready.
I'd have retired by now. I think everybody's ready, right? I mean, here's a guy who we've talked about. And look, you comparing to Brooks Koepka. Brooks Koepka with all that he's done, now 4 major wins in the last 8 major starts, historical numbers. But yet, right, I think you go out on a golf course and you look around and look at the kids and you poll people, and Rickie Fowler is going to just drub him in a popularity contest, drub him. And that's why it would be, obviously, it'd be great for Rickie to win a major, but it'd be really great for golf in general. It would be one of the most popular victories in major championship golf that we've had in a long time. Yeah, I think it is his time, and I think it's a place where putting is really important. And Rickie is one of the best putters on the PGA Tour. Obviously, this is more of an old-school U.S. Open. This week, you really have to hit fairways and greens. But historically, Pebble Beach, putting stats by the champions has been more important than almost any other U.S. Open venue, having very few putts. And Rickie, with that stroke, being a Californian, California natives have had overwhelming amount of success up there at Pebble Beach, kind of knowing how to putt the seaside Poana greens, which is Poana is actually not even a grass. It's actually a weed. It makes a very good putting surface when it's right. But here at Pebble Beach, because of the conditions, these little seed heads will pop up. They can get kind of bumpy here and there. And Rickie I think is very good at dealing with that. So I think it could be his week. We'll see. Anytime at a U.S. Open, major championships in general, It's really important that you get off to a good start. And I think that's the most important thing for Rickie and for some of these other guys you see, like Rory McIlroy today. It's getting off to a very good start. The question always with Rickie is Sunday. His record come Sunday and come late afternoon Sundays isn't very good. If he winds up being in the lead going into a final round, how's he going to handle that? Can he play well and shoot a good round Sunday? Or, as Jack Nicklaus used to always say, I'd rather be 2 ahead. I think it's easier being 2 behind going into the final round. And would it be easy for Rickie to be a couple behind going into that final round, kind of like he was at the Players' Championship 4 years ago when he had that great run down the stretch to come back and win? You got no pressure on you. You can just kind of go for it, and that's what he did. So that's a big question for Rickie, I think, when it comes down to it. Late Sunday afternoon, can he close it? And we'll see.
You mentioned Rory, Gil. I don't know if it's a gift or a curse that he's coming off the win at RBC Canadian because, you just so rarely see guys win on back-to-back weekends, especially when the second one is as big as what we've got here, the U.S. Open. Do you see that as, hey, you come in on fire, that's good, you got everything going, or do you see that's your gift might be your curse in this situation?
Jeff, you're exactly right. Because this is something that's never been done in the history of golf. No one's won the week before the U.S. Open and then won the U.S. Open. It's rare in general. It has happened in before all the other majors at some point. Never U.S. Open. I would say, though, for Rory, it may be a little different just because he has the experience. He has 16 PGA Tour wins. You're not talking about a guy with just maybe his first win or a couple other wins. And he's playing so well and with so much confidence. And what he did on the weekend last week at Canada was just phenomenal. It shows you why people, are constantly putting him up there as the most talented, along with Dustin Johnson, player in the game, and a guy who can just things when he gets going, and the driver is working. He can be the best driver in the game, and then when the putter is working, he's a guy who can win by 6, 7, 8 shots as he's done in his career, and that's what people put him so close to Tiger. Because when he gets it going like that, Tiger ran off, I think double-digit wins of 8 shots or more in his career, and Rory really is the only guy out here who can match Tiger in that category. The question with Rory coming out here was, just Pebble Beach. Would it be a place that would fit him? Because, we're at a golf course here, guys, it's not very long. It's just over 7,000 yards, a place where you really don't need driver a lot of places, and a place that you have to be a really good iron player. And as I mentioned, you have to have a really good week with the putter, and that doesn't seem to be something that necessarily fit Rory or fit maybe a Brooks Koepka. But you know what? If you're a great player and you're a legend, you can win anywhere if you're playing well. And certainly not surprised today to see Rory playing well, and I think that bodes poorly for the rest of the field because, once again, Rory's bugaboo here at some of these majors has been getting off to poor starts. When he gets off to a good start, he usually contends and usually does really well, and that certainly could be the case here this week.
Gil Capps from the Golf Channel at 2:09 Pebble Beach time, 5:09 here. Spieth, Rose, Woods. What a day for those three guys. That should be make for some riveting television for the back half here. So those three guys, Spieth is interesting. We brought him up yesterday. He seemed like he was separating himself from the pack a couple of years ago. Now he seems like he's kind of jumbled back in there. Same with Rose. And then, of course, there's Woods looming.
Wow. That they'll have a few people following that threesome around here this afternoon at Pebble Beach. They will have to be careful about. One of the things you get here at Pebble Beach is changing weather conditions. When it gets overcast like it is today is when it kind of becomes easy because the wind is down a little bit. The moisture kind of holds in the greens, and scoring can be good, as we've seen this morning. You're never going to get, I think, in a U.S. Open on these conditions, a lot of real low scores, but you can get a lot of 68s and 67s The question would be, will they get the same weather here this afternoon, because the skies are trying to lighten up a little bit, and that usually means the wind starts coming from the tougher direction, and the wind, when it's sunny at Pebble, it's usually much more windy than it is when it's cloudy. But Pebble Beach is a place that I think favors a guy like Tiger Woods and a guy like Jordan Spieth for a couple of reasons. Number one, the stats just bear it out that the first 4 winners of the U.S. Open here at Pebble Beach, and there have been 5, but the first 4 had all previously won the PGA Tour event they have out here each February, and both Spieth and Tiger obviously have won that event. And as I said, the type of golf course it is, Tiger Woods, Pebble Beach, they go together with what he did in 2000 and the way he plays the game now. Very much manufacturing rounds, course management, best iron player statistically so far this year on the PGA Tour in greens and regulation. That's all you're looking to do here at Pebble Beach is hit the middle of these greens that are so small. They're only 3,500 square feet, which I don't understand that small to guys like you, Mike, because that's the size of your house back up there in Atlantic City. But for average green sizes, that's about half the size of an average green on the PGA Tour. And then that's on the greens where the putting comes into play. Obviously, Jordan Spieth, a super great putter, and a super great putter from that distance, so those 20, 15-footers. And a guy who, you're right, has had this renaissance here, 3 consecutive top 8 finishes on tour. First time he's done that in 2 years. The cream always rises to the top eventually, and I think that Spieth, after that great success, it's easy to kind of get sideways and keep improving. The one thing with Jordan Spieth was in this modern era, it wasn't long. He wasn't long, still isn't long. And I think when you try to kind of start making changes to keep up with guys like Dustin Johnson and Brooks Koepka, you sometimes get away from your strengths. And I think he's kind of come back around a little bit and gotten his game back in order somewhat. And now he's kind of having a great putting season as well. And he's kind of primed, and those 2 guys will be who everybody's keeping an eye on this afternoon.
We got Molinari and Koepka playing together. Koepka going for 3 in a row here. Keep an eye on that. They're playing on hole 1 right in front of Tiger's group there. So if you're at hole 1, you're going to be treated to a very nice group. And plus, Jimmy Walker and Poulter, Tony Finau, they're right in there too. So the hole 1 is the place to be right now. But Gil's pick is, not Mike Gil, Gil Capps. Because you know who my pick is, Gil.
It's hard. The U.S. Open is the one place here recently where guys in the top 10 in the world have won more than guys outside the top 10 in the world. But that said, you know what? I'm going to jump on your bandwagon.
Woo!
Oh, 2 for Ricky.
I'm going to give you a co-pilot, and maybe we can drive Ricky home. We've had a lot of guys here this decade who've made the U.S. Open their first major championship. Rory did it. Justin Rose did it. Dustin Johnson, Brooks Koepka, all these big names have done it here this decade, and maybe we can end the decade by getting Ricky up there on that list in his first major championship.
All right, there you go. By the way, he leads 5 under as the first group of guys is finishing up here. He's on 17. So there you go. Gil Capps from the Golf Channel. He likes Rickie Fowler. I like Rickie Fowler. Who'd you put your $5 on?
Well, I did 3 guys, but if you had to just narrow it to 1, I would have gone with Spieth.
All right, he's going with Spieth.
He's playing well.
He hasn't
lately.
played yet. All right.
I just want to see a Final Four.
Gil
Tiger,
Capps from the
Spieth.
Golf Channel here on the Sports Bash. All right, Gil, enjoy the golf, man.
Hey, will do. You guys have a good day.
All right, Gil Capps from the Golf Channel here.
I want a Sunday of Tiger, Spieth, Koepka, and Rory coming down the stretch.
Okay.
Give me that, and I will be a very happy man. That's Father's Day. You got it all you need.